All right, so what we want to do today, I want to go through a program that you can use on Google. It's called Doctopus. Okay, so what's Doctopus? Doctopus is it's a way for you guys to manage like an assignment for your class. So if you give out an assignment to your class, you can give it out to them digitally, and you can manage it all straight through Google if you'd like to. Essentially what it requires is a list of your students' names and their email addresses, and I can show you how we actually get that information as well shortly. Doctopus can be used in either project groups. So say for example you've got a group of different students, so you have maybe in your class 30 students, you've broken up into groups of 5. You can put them into different groups if you'd like to and have them all working on a different part of a project. Or maybe you would like them to work individually. So individually you can provide them different assignments. So say for example you have some students which may be a bit more advanced than other students, and you wanted to provide some students with say for example a basic level of an assignment, and maybe some students with a much more advanced level of assignment. You can do things like that as well. The other way you can do it individually is you can just give everybody the exact same assignment, but they're individual assignments, so everybody's got their own copy of it. Okay. The last way you can use Doctopus is you can provide the whole class with the exact same item. Okay, everybody's got access to that one item. So I don't know. The only time you might use something like that maybe would be if you wanted to maybe get some group collaboration going between your class, and everybody shares something like that. Might be a situation where you use something like that. What your students can do as well, if you'd like to, when we actually set this up, I'm going to go through and show you, but you can also let your students comment on other people's work if you'd like to. So they can view other students' work if you would like them to be able to view it, and they can comment on it if they wanted to. So you can do that also. You can also omit certain students. So say for example you've got a student that for some reason you didn't want them to actually have to submit an answer to everything. You can omit them so they're not included as part of your marking. The beauty about this is it also allows you to easily send your students grades and feedback straight through this application also.
But nobody else can see their grades?
Yeah, nobody else can see them, just the teacher. And the other thing that you can do is it allows you to attach what they call a rubric. Now I'm sure you guys are familiar with what a rubric is. A rubric is a Google rubric. And it'll allow you to attach rubrics straight into their assignment from this program also. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give it a go, and so I'm going to walk around and give each of you a hand on how to set this up. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go into the narrative assignment all students. Now I've copied this from Year 8, so if you go into narrative assignment all students, it's a Year 8 English one from last year. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to type in your email address.
Sorry? Year 8 narrative?
Yep. So I'd like you to type in your email address in there. Yep, that's fine, okay. Just click in that field. Type in your email address and...
so you've got to put the
full email address in there. And where it says first name, type in your first name and your last name. And where it says class code, you can either use one of those class codes above if you'd like to, or make your own class code. It's entirely up to you. I've got to get rid of the assignment. And where it's got this assignment, if you could just go and delete those numbers, because I meant to take those out. Just delete any of those numbers that are in there. Yeah, just delete those numbers, Kay. I've accidentally left them in there. Yeah, if you could delete those numbers, that'd be great. That's all done. Yep. So the next thing we want to do is, one thing I would recommend you do is down the bottom of your screen, you'll see where it's here, it says Sheet 1. I'd recommend you click on that and select Rename. So just right click just on the side there, yep, that's it, Rename. That's it, and just name it. I don't know, assignment, it's up to you, whatever you want to call it. Yep, and then just click outside that cell. And the reason we've done that, it just makes it quickly visible to us, which is our assignment sheet. Okay. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to install Doctopus. Now, I've already installed this for you, however, I thought I would show you how to do it. Okay. If you go up to the Tools menu, so everyone go up to Tools at the very top of your screen up there, and select Tools. And then select Script Gallery. Yep. And in that search area, if you type in Doctopus, D-O-C-T-O-P-U-S, and then hit search. And it'll pop up a little window, and if you click the install button there,
Don't need to, it's already.
no, click it anyway, because it won't hurt to do it again. Yep, and it'll have this green bar that'll say installed, and then it pops up and says authorization required, and you need to select continue. And another window will pop up, and if you scroll to the bottom of that window, you need to accept that one. All the way to the bottom, and then click the accept.
So you went tools, then you went script gallery. was it?
Yes,
Yep.
yep.
And then did a search for Doctopus.
And then once that's completed, just hit close. So that's how you actually install the scripts. You'll see up the top right hand side of your screen up here, it's got the word Doctopus, and that's the menu that we're going to use to actually use Doctopus. Okay? So the next step, sorry.
Is that installed now in our Google all the time, or is it only for this document?
It's only for this particular document.
Okay.
Okay? So,
So each time you make a new document, you'd need to reinstall it for that document.
exactly right, yeah. Whenever you create a new spreadsheet, you'll need to install it for that particular spreadsheet.
Okay.
So that's right. You don't need to reinstall it for the same spreadsheet though. Once you've done it once, that's it.
So if you're making multiple pages down here,
Yeah, you've
that's
already
not a
done
problem. But if you complete
New
spreadsheet,
document. Exactly right.
no worries.
So let's go to the Doctopus menu now. And I just thought I'd show you a little bit about in here. There's a little bit there about how Doctopus works. If you click on that, it'll just bring up a little window and just explains sort of what I've already gone through. Explains what Doctopus is all about and how it's designed to work. And so you're more than welcome to go through and have a read through all that if you'd like to, but I just thought I'd show you where that information is located today. Okay, we'll close that window, which is up the top right hand side. You can see the little X on that window. That's the one. And we'll go back to the Doctopus menu, and we're going to select Launch Installation this time. Great. Now, I'll just wait for everyone to pop up. Okay. And what you can see here, it's asking about the Doctopus rubric. Remember before we were talking about Gubrick? This part here actually installs it for you. And so if you click on where it says Authorise this web app, so click on that first of all, and it should pop up a little window and you click, yep, Authorise, down the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And when it says OK, you can close that window now. That's it. Yep, you can close that window as well, OK. That's it. And the next thing you would like to do is you select Install the Chrome extension. Now you only need to install this Chrome extension once on your computer, forever. So you don't need to constantly keep coming back here. It'll take you to the Gubrick installer, and at the top there it says free. Just click on that.
So we have to do this back on our...
Yeah, you'll need to do this on your laptop as well. So select Add there. Okay.
Add.
Great. So we've installed Gubrick now. Gubrick's the one which does our marking for us, and we'll use that shortly. So you can close that window now. Yep, that's the one. Just that one there. Okay. Great. So okay, so you can say, got it. I'm done with these steps, and it'll continue on for you. Great. This is the very first part where you actually go through and set up your assignment. So what we need to do in here, see where it says select sharing type. We need to go and select, get the right one, individual all the same. I'll make sure I get it to the same place in my notes.
So what's the difference between that and whole class?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's probably a good question. Let's have a look at them. So just get that, yeah, you've got the down arrow there, good.
It creates an individual.
So, yeah, project groups
Oh, okay.
where you have different groups of people doing the same type of project, essentially, and so they're all working together. Individual means everybody gets the exact same exam or the same assignment, but they're separated, so I can't see someone else's, okay? Where it says individual differentiated, that means that, say for example, you've got a couple of groups in your class, and some of them are a bit more advanced, and so you may provide them with a more advanced assignment, for example. And there was another one, I think, down the bottom now.
Whole class is just one.
It's like a shared
Exactly
Google
right.
Doc.
Exactly right. So we're going to select individual one there, all the same. Now you'll also notice down beneath that it says whole class access level, and it's got no access, and that's probably what you want most of the time, because Probably don't want to let all your other students write all over and see what everyone else is doing. But if there was a case where you wanted to, if you click that little down arrow K, and see it says like allow view only or allow comment only. So allow view only means other students can actually view what everyone else is doing. Allow comment only allows them to just comment on their work. Okay, so we're going to leave that at no access, and the same thing for individual student level access. This actually allows you to select a couple of different options. So select that one. You've got same thing, allow view only or allow comment only. So say for example, you didn't even want the student to be able to edit that page, you just want them to comment on that one page. You could do that also, okay? Beneath that you'll see an area where it says email addresses of the teachers or groups you want to give editing rights to. And so this is, for example, here in Year 7 we've got a couple of teachers that are all teaching Year 7, and you may actually want to create one assignment for everyone in Year 7, for example. You'll probably actually find it easier if you have your own groups, but if you did want to, you could actually type in their email addresses and then just put them by commas, and you could share it with other teachers at the same time if you'd like to. Now the last pane down there where it's got roster settings. See that very first one, it says the sheet that contains your roster? Well, it's the assignment sheet. Remember we gave that sheet a name before? So yours should say assignment 1, yours has got assignment. So that's the sheet, and that's the one we want to use. The next column says column containing the student's email address. Well, we named that column email, and so we know that we've got the right column there. This one over here says column containing the excused designation, and I'll explain what that means. Say for example you've got an assignment, but there's one student there that doesn't really need to do it. You put the word excused, you actually write the word excused in that column, and what it does is that student no longer has to actually do that work. It's not compulsory for them to do it, okay? So I just leave that at email for the moment. And then we're not going to select my students have their own folders. The reason for that is because everything is going to go into the same folder, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. So let's select Save Settings, and that'll take us to the next screen. Okay. Trying to get the right place in there.
There we go.
Cool, sorry about that.
And then you have
just,
to get the...
I hit save settings.
Yeah, just like Save Settings once we've done that. Thought maybe we might go and have a look and see what we've actually done so far, hey, before we... So close that window there.
Close this one?
Yeah, just close that one. And close that one, okay. So just go over to your tab where you've got the Teacher Patterson folder. I'll explain what we've got in here. So what we've done is we created a template. So if you go into the Templates folder, yep. And in there you'll see Narrative Task Sheet with new criteria. And yours loads.
You
Great.
need to open
Yeah, just
it.
click on it. Yep. Yours a copy.
Copy
Yeah,
or...
yours a copy of it. I just didn't name it.
Yep.
So what that is, that's an example of what they use. I think it's in Year 8, if I remember right. And so it's their whole assignment sitting in there for them to utilise. And what your students could do if they wanted to, this is the document they're actually going to edit. They could come in here and continue writing on this document itself, and it's got all the items that they need above it. Does that make sense? Yep. So what we've done here is we've just made a template, and we're going to share this template with all our students. Okay, so that's what we've actually done there.
So if they want to write on it now...
Yes, they will be able to. At the
but
moment,
where do they write?
they just like a new
Page
page
three,
and just keep
keep
going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this template for us is just, it's the bare minimum that every student has to have. So we'll close that now. I just wanted to show you what that actually was.
So
we'll
they
close that window.
can grab this from in their iPad and write.
Yes, they can. They can do this from their iPad as well. That's exactly right. So let's go back to the narrative assignment tab.
Close that.
Yep, and go back to the narrative assignment tab, which is on over there. Great, and go back up to the Doctopus menu.
Step 3.
Yeah, and step 3, exactly right. So if for some reason you need to close something, you can come back to this later on. You can continue on where you were. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to select the destination folder. So if you click the little down arrow, and we want to put it in the student's work.
So is this when they've done their work, they hand it in and it goes to that
Exactly
folder?
right. Yep, that's it. So select that folder there, Kate. And you've got student work. We've all got it. Great. What this essentially does is it's going to make a copy of this file for us. And when they actually finish their assignment, it's going to pop it in one folder that you can access. And so you can see all the students' work, it's all done. Okay, it makes it quite quick and simple to find. Now this next part here is an email that sends out to your students, okay? And it tells them that the file's there ready for them to start work on. And so what we want to do down here, where you'll see it's got these bits of text here in blue. Those bits of text are what they call variables, and they're things that you can use to replace certain words in your letter to them, for example. So here, for example, it says, how do you want the file named? What we're going to do is we're going to call that by the class code. So I'll get you to copy the class code bit of text there, Kate, if you can do that with your mouse.
It's here.
Yeah, that whole sentence. Just see if you can get that one sentence, that one line. If you can't, we'll just type it in manually. Dale and I had a bit of fun with that this afternoon as well. So copy that, and I'd like you to paste it just down in here. And then hit a space, and then I'll get you to go and get the email address. So scroll up to the top of that page, and grab where it's got email. So copy that, and then scroll down and paste that in there. Now, some teachers may like their student's first name and last name in there as well, and you can do that also. So you can hit space and you can go and grab their first name. That's it. And you can paste that in there too. And do the same thing with their last name if you'd like to.
So if you wanted alphabetical, you would do last name, first name.
Yeah, the reason I put class code in first was because I thought in some situations where you may have a couple of classes, it would be useful to quite quickly filter out which class groups were your own.
Yeah.
So that's entirely up to you. Okay. So I've got everything done. Yep, that looks good. Now, see the next line here, it says notify document editors immediately upon sharing and resharing. We're going to select that box, and what this does is it will send your students an email to let them know that the assignment's ready for them to start work on. Okay? And so down there, see where it says recipient email address, it's got email. That's right, because that's going to grab their email address, which is in this column, and it's going to pop it into that field. Down here where it says I've shared a document with you, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to put in class code assignment. So see how it's got this $sign class code? Put that class code over there. So just delete.
Sorry, what do I?
Yep. So delete I've shared a document. Yep, delete that. And put in class code.
Because that $sign will tell it to look up the class code. So it gives it more of a personalised subject
That's it.
line.
And put space assignment or something like that.
Dollar assignment or just?
No, that's right. No. So it's going to say, for example, 7p assignment, for example. Okay. And then down there where it says note, you can actually have, for example, you can write first name. So see how it's got the variable first name? You can grab that first name field, copy that, comma, and then here is your assignment, for example.
Then you do a comma.
Yep. And then return.
Something like that?
Yeah,
Oh, I love this. That's it. That's great.
done. Looks good.
Personalises it.
So these variables, you have to show us how to put those in.
Those come from those columns,
Oh.
yeah. It automatically generates, you don't need to
So if
worry
I
about it.
create other variables in the columns that are
Yeah.
unrelated to that student.
It'll put them in too.
Oh, sweet.
Whatever else you think you might want to
Yeah,
say
I
to
know
your
what you're doing,
students, you can put them in one of those columns, okay, and it'll automatically create them for you.
Can I put variables on another tab, another sheet? Or
Not
just have to
unless
have it
you're
with-
marking for another sheet, which you can do, but
Okay, no.
we'll get that later on.
Yeah, so that's right.
Okay, so select Save Settings, guys. Now, what we're going to notice on the next page, it's going to say, this is what it's going to look like. And so you'll see up there, it's showing you all the settings. It's showing you, for example, here, Dale Lopez's address. The subject is going to say 08ENG1 assignment, for example. And then it's going to have all the information sitting down underneath that. And then if you scroll to the bottom of that page, Kate, you'll see there where it says run, copy and share. Scroll to the bottom of the page, mate. Just on the up a little bit high. That's it. Run, copy and share. Do it. And what that will do now is it's going to go through, you'll see it adding stuff. Columns suddenly starting appearing over the side over here. And what it's doing is it's actually going and sharing an email out to all those students. And it's going to give them a link. So they can go and edit the assignment. And it's going to give you a link so you can mark their assignment as well. So now you'll see a little pop-up that says it's emailed everybody. So say OK. If you just go into your inbox now, go and have a look at your inbox because you're all sharing things, you would have got an email from the other person.
Right.
So this is what your students see, for example. So just click on the S. Crawford one. And it says you're now the editor on that file. Okay. So that's what your students would see. Okay. And then if your students want to go and edit that file, if you click on that for a moment, Kay.
Here.
Yeah, just click on that file. And so this is the one that Sandra sent you. You can actually edit it. Now what I'd like to do, if I can get you, Sandra, to actually have a look at this file while Kay's got it open.
Okay.
So the way we do that is we actually go over here to narrative. And Kay Patterson is this file here.
Yep.
So we're going to go to that file. And what I'd like Kay to do is I'd like her to start typing into that assignment. So at the very top of the page there, Kay, just go to the top of that
Put
page.
your name in.
And put your name in up the top up there.
Not going to do it real time.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
All the time.
Ah,
And so the way that Melina used this in her classroom is she actually had multiple students all editing it, and she could see straight away up in the class on the board how different students were going and things. Now what I will show you next is, I think it's really cool. Kay, you stay open on that page.
because they can't hear.
I'm going to get you to embargo the item. So if you go up into, go over to back to your narrative assignment tab and go to the Doctopus menu and select embargo for grading.
Freeze it.
Yep. And so Kay, in a moment or two, it'll go through. You just got to give it a moment while it goes through and runs the script. It'll embargo the item so the students can no longer edit that file.
I've locked you out.
So if you want to attract their attention, I'd like your attention up
Exactly
the front.
right. They can no longer edit the file. And so it'll tell you once it's locked them all. So Kay's is almost locked. Now her file's locked. So Kay, if you actually want to try and start editing that file, it'll actually prevent you from saving that from now on.
I did click OK on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just click over here. I'll start modifying it, and it should in a minute.
I typed in 7p afterwards.
Yeah, it should in a minute. I'll leave this page for a moment. I'll go back into it. See those things we typed in? They're gone. They're not there. So you can lock your students out. They can no longer edit the file if you want to. So what I will do next, I'm going to get Kay to go and show you where all the assignments are located. So if you go up here into your templates, that one up there, yeah, and go here and see student work folder. Remember we said we would put everything in the student work? If you give it a moment, there's all each one's assignment. So that shows you every person's work sitting in that folder.
So you could set up a folder called Term 3 Persuasive.
Yeah, whatever you want. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to call it,
And
it's
you
up
can
to
be
you.
your homework, it could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So that's where you see all the students' work, okay? So if you go back up to narrative assignment tab up there, top up there, okay, for us. Just over this
Sorry.
one. No, it's all right.
Sorry.
And we're just going to maximise that window. Just put that one up the top up there. So you'll see those links sitting there. Those links actually take you to the file. And what you might notice as well is seeing over there where it says last edited. If, for example, somebody changed a file, so for example, Kay modified that file before. If you go up to Doctopus there, Sandra, and if you go and select refresh time of last edit, and what it does is it goes through, it may not actually make much of a difference at the moment.
Where did you
But
go to?
Kay's actually modified that file, which is Kay Patterson. This one down here, see she's modified it at 1650. So she's actually edited that file. So you'll see that up under Doctopus. So if you select the Doctopus menu,
Up
show you
here.
where it is, yeah. Doctopus, and you'll see refresh time of last edit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that tells you when the last time the students actually worked on the file as well. So that might be useful for you also, okay? Nobody's really edited the file, so it's not going to really change that for you guys at the moment. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to work with the rubric. Okay, and we're going to do that part next. So let's go up to the Doctopus menu again. and we're going to attach a rubric.
Attach good.
Here.
Yep,
Yep, that's
attach
the
a rubric. Now, maybe what we should do first of all is show them the rubric. Hey?
Yeah, let's
Let's have a look at the rubric first of all. Go to your student work one. Yeah.
So if you go back to your
And
your
we're
Google
going
Drive.
to go into.
Yeah, that's it.
Just go
Wait a
back
minute,
up
I don't know
under,
them in the right place. Is it?
teacher in red.
You can probably just hit the back arrow
And we want to go to the Year 8 mark sheet.
and just back arrow again.
So go
Okay,
to
Year 8 mark sheet. If you just
teacher
open that one down there. So this is what
and you want to go
Rob's
to
already
Year 8 mark sheet.
created for you. So this is the marking rubric.
Yeah. So what I've done, I've just gone and grabbed their rubric that they normally have attached in that assignment, and I've pasted it in here pretty much. The only thing I need to make you aware of is see at the very top there where I've got column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't generally have those when I've noticed the rubrics here at the school. I've got A, B, C and D and E. You have to have those numbers at the top because otherwise it doesn't work. So I just thought I'd show you that.
Okay.
So next thing we're going to do, we're going to attach that rubric to it so we can mark the assignment, okay? So let's go back to, yep, that's the one. And you'll see here, yep, just,
Sorry.
that's it. Yep, great, okay. You'll see here it says install the Google Chrome extension. Just click on that, we'll just make sure we've got it installed. I'm pretty sure we all have. Yeah, yours is done, good. So you can close that window.
Yep, yours is done.
Great.
So just
Close
goes
that.
on
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing.
Yep, and now we want to make sure that it's been authorised. We've already done this, but I just want to make sure we know.
Yeah,
So,
tap on that one. Yep.
so notice the rubric
Says
thing isn't showing up at
okay.
the top of there.
Yep,
Yep,
okay,
good.
so you can just close that.
And now select a rubric. And you're going to go and select
Yeah,
that
tap
year
on this
8.
one, select the rubric.
That's it there, I think.
And what
it
we're
is.
gonna
Yeah,
do-
that's it.
That's,
Select that one there.
Just find that year
that's
8.
not the rubric, that's the,
Oh, is it?
no, that's the thing. So
So scroll
select
down.
file, so we need, no, going to browse, don't you?
Oh, so it's your
Going to
mark sheet.
browse.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's,
So how do you get?
So you can, yep, so then you go
That's
select.
right.
No, that's,
oh, come on.
Is that a
you
sheet?
know.
Otherwise you can go up to the top.
No, just click this one.
Yeah,
yeah, it's better.
That's it, select. In the blue.
That looks good. Now, if you ever get an error message in here, it'll probably be because you've named the first row A, B, C, and D, and E. So it'll tell you what it is, and you can just go and modify it. So then just say attach rubric to this assignment. Yep. So select attach rubric to this assignment there, Kay. And what you'll notice once it's done. Make sure, yep, okay, yep, okay, good. You'll notice it's taken to another tab,
Just
So you say okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And you'll see it's got rubric scores. What that sheet is actually represents, each time you provide your students with a rubric, it puts their scores in there. And so the advantage of this is that you can actually mark and remark a student's work. So if they want to work on improving their work over time, you can actually do that with them. So you can remark it again later on if you'd like to. So this is where it keeps the history of all their scores. If you select the assignment sheet, just down the bottom there, and scroll over towards the right-hand side, just scroll over to the right, yep, that's it. You'll see now it's put the rubric columns over there. So it's got understanding and responding to context, comments,
Oh, yeah, down.
all those things. You see where it says count? That count is the number of rubrics that you've actually provided that student with. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a go at marking one of these students' assignments. So go and select like Darren or Kay or Sandra,
So you've got to
for
take-
example.
When you select them,
Yep.
it's just one of these.
Yeah. So select so you choose Darren, you choose Kay.
No,
Oh,
chose
Okay.
Darren.
I just chose K.
All right, as long as we've got somebody else selected. Great. And bring up their assignment. You've got to select go to link, if that happens. Click on that and select go to link.
Yep, just click on the blue.
Where's it
That's
say
it.
go to?
Alright, so where do I mark this?
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Can't see for looking.
Now what you would do, you'd normally go through and mark their assignment as you would normally, but you'll notice now at the top right hand side of your screen a little picture of a page with an eye on it, very top up there, just up over here.
On there.
You'll see this
Oh,
there, picture of the
Oh,
eye.
Looking for the letter I.
Yeah.
Click on that page with the eye on it. And it's going to load the rubric. Only click that one. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So now you'll see here it's got 3 boxes down the left hand side. So you can actually enter in which grading that you want to provide them under that column.
So do you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right. So type in a number and you'll see that column will highlight. Select the next one.
She's not sequencing this very well, so I'm just going to give her a 3.
Then down under where it says comments,
You could have done a better job.
you can type in your comments that your students will see, okay? Now just so you know, what this actually does is it attaches it into their assignment.
Oh.
It's going to get this rubric and it's going to attach it into their assignment for them. Okay, and so it'll also email the results straight to the student if you'd like it to. You don't have to email it to the students if you don't want to, but let's leave that selected for the moment. Then just set, send and post to the document.
Spit and paste.
Yeah, sorry, that's the one. And what that will do is it's actually going to grab that rubric, it's going to attach it into that document for you, and you've finished your marking on that assignment. So yours is done okay almost. It'll pop up a thing. So yours is just pasting it. Proceed to next document. No, we don't need to worry. You could go on to the next one if you wanted to. You could click on that and actually continue on to the next document as well. So just head outside that, okay?
There it is.
And scroll to the bottom of that page. Just click outside now, outside that rubric. Yep, that's it. Scroll to the bottom of the page and you'll see it being attached. There it is there. What I'll get you to do now, go and remark it.
It's right.
Go and do, open up that assignment again. We're going to remark it again.
Remark.
Yep.
So how do you do that?
Just go and back to the...
So I close this one?
Yeah, you can close that page if you want
So
to.
this is where I can say you
Just
obviously didn't
go
listen
to
to
that
my
one there.
comments.
Hopefully that's the same item.
Alright, mark this again.
Do it again. Select your rubric.
Go into
That
the
one
eye.
up the top of there. You can put in some other comments there as well if you wanted to. Right. So just scroll to the bottom of that page now and have a look. It'll have inserted the second one for you now as well.
No, oh,
Yep,
oh, I
yeah,
see.
there it is. So once it's done, you scroll to the bottom of that page and you'll see the second rubric installed, added to it now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So go back over to the narrative assignment tab and then go to the rubric scores tab.
Oh, yeah, it gives you the latest.
Yeah, so if you go over to the narrative assignment tab there, Kate,
Oh, okay.
and go over to the rubric scores tab and you'll see the history of that one. See, so it's showing you how things have changed over time. So if you did want to filter on one particular student, see how things have been modified over a period of time and how they improved, you could do that from here as well. Okay. If you go back to the assignment tab, you'll see the latest score sitting in there now. So it's modified all that for you as well. I suppose the only other thing you can do is up under the Doctopus menu, at the top of that area, there will be send personalised email to students, for example. So you go over to the...
So we're closing all of
Yeah,
these?
close that one and let this one here go over to the Doctopus menu and send personalised email to students.
Oh.
And so this is where you can go and create an email that you send off to your students that, you know, tells them about whatever you want to. It's up to you. It sends an email to all your students and you can fill in all the blanks. So see, it's got a lot of information up above. And so like you should, if you scroll the top part down now, you'll probably find it's got more columns sitting up there.
You can take
Yeah, see, so like you've got comments in there. So like you can put comments in their field if you wanted to. And so the comments are actually what you already emailed them those comments as well. And so they'll go straight and they'll go out to them via email. And so you can do that as well if you'd like to. So I think there is one other thing in that one of those menus as well. We'll close that for the moment. Let's just go back up into the Doctopus menu if we could. And
Display average.
Transfer
yeah,
document
display
ownership
average
to
rubric
student.
scores. Just select that one. And I think
Where are
it
we
does.
going now?
There we go.
Doctopus, and then there's one that's called
Yeah.
display
Display
average rubric
average
scores.
rubric
So
scores.
that's if you've changed the rubric.
If you've given them,
Multiply this.
so if you've given them like a couple of scores, you can go and see what the average is, and say it'll go through and average out those scores for you now. Okay. So you'll probably see that on this tab over here. Okay. Goes over the side over there, and it should have averaged them out now. So it needs to average these scores out. Okay. That's Doctopus pretty much. That's it in a nutshell.